The NFL Combine is over, which means more mock drafts for all of us. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and today we are doing a live mock draft for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, what do I mean by live? Ryan and I, we will be role playing as the Cardinals front office during this mock draft simulator, going through all of their selections. So, while we're doing that, leave a comment, let us know what your thoughts are of our selections and what you would like to see them do in real life. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to the Tracy Take and also tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. And now, Ryan, let's pull this up here. So the past couple
Let's
picks
do it.
up before the Cardinals, James Pierce Jr. to the Cowboys, Malachi Starks to the Dolphins, Will Johnson to the Colts, and then Ashton Genty to the Falcons. Oh, I would love to see it. That would be amazing. I'm a Falcons fan, if you couldn't tell. That's probably the best
Yeah.
part of this video. No offense.
But
But back to the Cardinals. Ryan, we've talked about this all off season. I think it's
yeah.
defensive line for days here for the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. I think you just look like Kenneth Grant, I think, has to be like popping off the screen at this point. And that will probably end up being the pick that we go with. Mike Green is very tempting as well. I feel like that is the like one of the biggest risers just of the draft. He had such a great Senior Bowl and hit like led college football in sacks, and he's just so explosive. And so I feel like he would do really well in Jonathan Gannon's system there as well. So all in all, I really like the options that they have here.
This is a great scenario for them, I would think. So to me, one, just because like I think we do Kenneth Grant to the Cardinals a lot, but with them with like this their Jonathan Gannon type system with that 3-4 system, I think he would love to have Mike Green in that system as well. So that's almost where I'm going.
Mike Green.
Yeah, let's go Mike Green here.
All right. Yeah. No, I like that too. Mix it
So
up.
there's
Make
a
me look
couple guys. I
stupid.
mean, they can maybe go Derek Harmon if they'd want Michael Williams, but once again too, I just think Kenneth Grant and Mike Green are better at those positions than those other two guys.
Yeah. No, and
So
and that's fair. I also think too the drop off from Mike Green to like the day two edge rushers is going to be bigger than Kenneth Grant to say like an Alfred Collins
well, and and
guy.
that's my thoughts exactly here too. Is like you're trying to just get better talent overall on this
Mhm.
team here, and I think you get Alfred Collins that's there as well. Um,
Shamar Turner is interesting as
Smart
kind of like
Turner.
that five tech kind of pass rusher. That Texas A&M defensive line was absolutely loaded with talent this past season. So
I to me, I'm trying to even think here because like their receiving room overall. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. Uh, he's on
Michael
my dynasty
Wilson,
team. Yeah, so Marvin Harrison Jr. better statistically step up big time next year. And so I know Kyler Murray is also kind of dependent on that. But I like their side offensively. Could they get offensive linemen? I think that's something that we will do here within
yeah,
their 5 picks. But I do think it would be better fit for them to get Shamar Stewart or Alfred Collins than a Tyler Booker as right now. I like
yeah,
Nick Armandwari, but to me, I think that's too much of a kind of overlap with Buda Baker. I don't think that's really where the
yeah.
Cardinals need to improve on in the secondary.
Let's do Alfred Collins.
Okay.
I think that's a good fit there. And he can be an explosive defensive tackle there in Arizona. So they pick here in about 25 picks. So I think that will maybe be where we look into getting interior offensive line, just because there's probably pretty decent value here. Yeah, you have Jared Wilson, Tate Ratledge, and honestly, so I think we go Jared Wilson. Maybe we can get Luke Kander at like 153.
My only thing they've got, I'm going to mispronounce his name, Hijalt
Y-
Froholt as well.
Yalta Froholt. That wasn't as bad as I had originally thought, because as soon as you said it, I knew exactly who you were talking about. It's
Yeah,
Yalta
I do not
Froholt.
see how that is pronounced as Yalta, but
Yeah,
I'll go with you there based off just history.
he was drafted by the Patriots, by the way. That's how I know that.
Where's he from? I mean, because is he
Like
from?
Sweden, I think.
They play football there. That's pretty cool. I bet he's like one of those rugby guys. I bet actually he got into a bar fight and like a scout was like, that guy can hit," and then they drafted
Yeah.
him. I bet that's what
No,
how Bill
he
Belichick
actually
found
he
him.
played college football at Arkansas. So, I don't know
Yep.
why I remember all this, but, this is why I have a football podcast.
That's true.
That and
And
so
he's
I
a
don't
J
annoy my
yeah,
fiancée with
yeah,
football.
too
Uh,
funny.
so I think we could maybe go interior offensive line. There are a few other Jonas Savanaia is very tempting. Um,
Well, and is he gonna kick in the guard?
he is gonna kick into guard. He could play right tackle in a pinch, but he is best at guard.
Well, so
Wyatt
that's what's
Milam is there
interesting
too.
here as Evan Brown's a free agent, Tristan Cologne's a free agent, and also Will Hernandez is gonna be a free agent as well. My thing though is this defense just was just rough last year,
Yeah.
and they have a lot of free agents still that are going that way. I
Let's
I'll
do
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, no. Do you wanna do defense?
Yeah, I think they only have 5 picks, and they really gotta focus on this defense. We've seen teams do that in the past, like, where they have limited amount of picks
Okay.
and they, like, just go full board on one side of the ball. So to me, I'm almost looking like go look up, like, linebackers, defensive interior, and edge rushers again. I think they're gonna focus on that front 7.
Okay. I will say they do need offensive line though.
They were still one of the best rushing teams last year, like,
Yeah, but they have a lot of free agents. They have the cap space to sign them though.
they have the cap space to re-sign these guys. To me,
Okay.
when I'm kinda looking at this, it'd be like, I think you could go look at Evan Bossa. I think you can maybe get Deion Walker, get a guy you can throw all around. If you wanna really help out that running defense, go get CJ West. You've everybody that's followed this channel all off season knows how much I like CJ West, and
Let's
so it's
let's do Bassa. I think Jeffrey
okay,
Bassa adds a good level of physicality and leadership to the second level of that defense.
okay,
So,
okay.
okay.
I like that, and even too, Kaiser White is a free agent as well. Baron Browning's a free agent also too. Chris Barnes,
Okay.
all these linebackers as well.
Okay.
So
And then maybe do you want to do corner here?
uh, yeah, here's do Mello
Mello
Dotson
Yeah, Mello Dotson is there.
because
Noah Williams is there.
They do have Sean Murphy Bunting. Um, Garrett Williams, who they drafted 23, did really well last year. Sterling Thomas the fifth. Like I do think part of it, it's not that their secondary could they improve in the cornerback room? Yes. I think one of the things that was hindering the Cardinals past secondary was just how weak this defensive line was and this front seven was. So I think now would be good if you want to get like a Mello Dotson, get a
Yeah,
cornerback
let's do
here.
Mello Dotson. That's a name I don't think we've done yet. We're usually
Yeah,
dipping into the corner at the top of the fourth, but that's one we haven't done yet. There's
that's
just a
about
big wave of guys that are going to go there. So,
exactly. Yeah. And so here's the last pick for the Cardinals too. So let's quickly recap before we go into this here. So
so
Mike Green, edge rusher for Marshall, then Alfred Collins, defensive tackle, then Jeffrey Bassa, linebacker from Oregon in round 3, and then Mello Dotson, cornerback there as
yeah.
well. I I personally think that we could go defensive line. I just think it's just that big of a need because this offense I think is going to take a step forward, is going to continue to take steps forward as well, especially
Okay.
as they've drafted. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to step up next year. Trey McBride's one of the better tight ends, if not the you could say top 3 best tight ends in the league. Um,
I would like to maybe just look at interior offensive line because they do
no,
need it.
absolutely not. You can't even look at it. I forbid it. No, Ryan. Gosh,
Well, that's what happens when you have the mouse.
that sucks.
So for me, Connor Colby, I think would be the pick here. Um,
So
yeah, I don't.
I think at this point too, and this Cardinals fans are still with us. So I think we could pick Connor Colby, but then let's also too look at the defensive line guys because I just think
Okay,
it's just that big of a need for them, and then we could just kind of like your boy Zeke Biggers is
yeah,
there too, Jad Joyner, Tim Smith. I see, and I just think just trying to beef up that side of the ball because you just go look at where they're
yeah.
at statistically. It's like the Cardinals defense last year
I
14th in
think
passing yards allowed, but then 20th in rushing yards allowed. I think a lot of that too was just from just
Yeah.
weakness on the defensive line.
I we've invested a ton. I do think Connor Colby might be the pick. I would kinda like to just see what it would be like to go full bore defense. I am just not seeing a fit, though.
Keep scrolling down just a little bit there. See if there's some other guys. Now, like, I understand your point. Like, I think at this point now, guys,
Actually, I take it back. Ty Robinson.
is he a big meaty guy?
No, he's a big interior pass rusher, but he could play in like a 5 technique. You have Alfred Collins there kinda in the middle, put Ty Robinson on one side, and then, you got, who's the edge rusher that we got?
Mike Green.
Mike Green. That would be nasty.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do Ty Robinson. Let's go
Yeah,
full defense. They can sign some offensive linemen in free agency, and then I'm gonna put this on turbo because we're just trying to get done with it. But, uh I do think that defense is a really big need. Ty Robinson is a high motor leadership player, and so I feel like him and Jonathan Gannon is gonna like him in his system.
exactly. Yeah, and I'm pulling up even the Cardinals draft last year, which I believe was pretty offensive heavy. And so it's like, yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. with your fourth overall pick, he's going to be that superstar guy that you got. You got Trey Benson as well to eventually take over. Um, what's James Conner? Got Isaiah Adams last year, who's a rookie who was playing time at right guard. Tip Ryman as well.
Okay,
So
that's fair.
you've been investing on the offensive side of the ball. Christian Jones as well in the fifth round, Tajon Palmer as well, and you had other picks last year also too. You did invest in the defensive side of the ball. So I think this year with just five, and there's very possible that there's going to be trade backs as well with this
Yeah.
team. Just giving out certain situations, maybe get some more draft picks for round 7, but they have a bunch of cap space as well. Phoenix is a very popular place, and I think a lot of players would want to go down there and live as well. So maybe they can entice some players. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just had the 5 picks and then they just go full board defense. And especially too, it's just the way that this scenario worked out. And I think too, if you're Cardinals fans and you're looking at it, you got Mike Green, you got Alfred Collins, you got Jeffrey Bossa really beefing up that front 7 of y'all's. I think you'd be satisfied with that. And so,
Yeah.
and you have to be if you're still watching this video because that's what we did.
Yeah. No, I think that like just loading up on defense, that was the big weak point, I think for them because offensively they actually were pretty decent this past season. So
Yeah,
I
offensively, like they could improve in the passing game. And I think that's going to come more as Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray get just more acquainted with one another. But they are 7th in rushing yards at 144. That's wild, actually, that they were 7th. They're averaging 144 rushing yards per game, and they're 7th, which is wild.
yeah.
And so, but 18th in passing, so just slightly below average. Like this offense is still solid. And
Yeah.
I think it just keep on improving as they get more acquainted with one another.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good draft for them. So with that, let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of this Arizona Cardinals 7-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? And then that we'll see you guys next time.